Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5 a.m. Club. And this morning I come to you from Coogee Beach. Let me just give you a 360 just to show you what I get to see over here. It's an overcast autumn day, a lot of cloud cover there on the horizon, and it's a fairly big swell. I was going to do my morning swim at Bondi Icebergs, but because of the swell combined with the high tide, it was just smashing into the pool. So I couldn't really get my swim done. So I thought I'd come down here to Coogee and crank out a 5 a.m. club and see where it leads us. So today's book summary that I'm going to cover is entitled The ADHD Advantage by Dale Archer. So ADHD. What is ADHD? ADHD is a medical condition called Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and it's something that's been, I guess, more prolific in the past couple of decades, and something that a lot of people seem to talk about and worry about. But this author is able to put a different light on it, and a different spin, because what he's saying is that those with ADHD are life's entrepreneurs, CEOs, leaders, explorers, champion athletes, and out-of-the-box thinkers. So he turns this whole ADHD problem into an opportunity. And I guess over the years we've probably worked and lived with people who were hyped up, who are energized, and I guess there's been a negative sort of connotation added to it over the years. But when you look back over the people that we've lived with, it's the ones who are fired up, who are the ones who get the most out of life at the end of the day, and the ones who tend to make it to the top and become leaders in their field. So what the author here is saying, and makes a very valid point, is that ADHD, in his opinion, is something which is overdiagnosed, over-medicated, and under-embraced. So let's look a little bit more out of it. Let's look a little bit more into it and take some points out of this book and see where what we can glean from it. What the author here suggests is that one out of every six, 17% who are diagnosed with ADHD don't really have it. And it's based on some outdated criteria that revolve around 12 particular symptoms, of which most people seem to have. So, and the other point that the author makes, which is a brilliant sort of point, is that the diagnosis for ADHD is made on account of the observer and not the victim. Because at the end of the day, when I was growing up, children always were full of energy. Children were always easily distracted, and children didn't pay lots of attention. And it's basically a characteristic of being a child, and not necessarily just a child, but a boy growing up in Australia. Having lots of energy, being easily distracted, and not having a long attention span was, I guess, normal for most of us boys growing up in Australia. So what the author is saying here is that a lot of these kids are diagnosed with having ADHD, when in actual fact they're just normal kids. They're normal kids, they're tomorrow's CEOs, They're tomorrow's champion athletes, explorers, leaders, entrepreneurs who are just growing up normally, and yet the system, the medical profession, their parents, the teachers are putting them in a box and trying to make them appear to be problems when actually they're a breath of fresh air, is what the author is suggesting here. So the next structured point to come out of this book is that we must be careful not to over-medicate and abuse ADHD medication for young people, because the medication has terrible side effects which are addictive, offset growth, and lead to weight gain or weight loss depending on how your body reacts to it. So let's move on. So the author here talks about the importance of turning symptoms into advantages. So people with ADHD tend to be awesome at team sports. They're really good at innovative solutions and lateral thinking. And an example of somebody who was deemed to have had ADHD is Richard Branson, who many will agree is an awesome sort of celebrity, a great innovator, an entrepreneur, a person with a brilliant mind, a great lateral thinker, and somebody who's added significant value to his environment, his corporation, and to his field of expertise. So there you go. So I guess the important thing to understand and to appreciate is not to label people, or not to be too quick to label people with symptoms that they may have ADHD, because as we said, a lot of them are just normal people, normal children who are just living life, enjoying life, and making the most of what they have available to them. Because who wants to be a boring, conservative person who just fits in? Who wants to be medicated, boring, when you're not even medicated? So I guess the key lesson, as I said, to come out of this book is to make the most of our energy levels, live in the moment, be the energy source and the source of joy for the people around you, and to make the most of your life. And whilst I'm down here at Coogee, you can probably see behind me those colours that are around the steps here. It was the Gay Mardi Gras, I think, yesterday, where it was a more sombre affair because there was fewer international people coming in to celebrate this annual event. But in terms of those colours down there, I was pleased to hear from a Muslim friend of mine that I work with that those colours aren't all the colours of the rainbow, and are not, in fact, the rainbow, but 6 colours. So there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, blue, and violet. So there's one colour missing there. So I was always worried and concerned growing up whenever I'd see the LGBTI plus and alphabet flag, that it misappropriated the rainbow image from the Old Testament. But I'm pleased to have that corrected by a person who is outside the Christian and Jewish faith, one of the Islamic faith, who was able to reassure me that that symbol there is not the same symbol, the symbol of hope, the symbol of that has come from the Old Testament, and is just basically a colour code which some people misinterpret as the rainbow, but as we said, it's not the rainbow. It only has 6 colours of the 7, so there's one colour missing, which is a relief for me from a Christian perspective at least. Anyway, let's finish up with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's make the most of this beautiful day. Even though it's overcast, even though we're into autumn and summer has passed, let's make the most of whatever we've got available to us, knowing that today will never come back, and whatever we do today is something that we'll embrace and be part of us, and whatever we miss out on will probably never get done. Well, it will never get done today, because today will never come back. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club from Coogee Beach. It's a beautiful place down here. It's got three pools. You can look there in the background there. There is 1, 2, 3 pools. So it's great to come down here for a swim and to enjoy this cosmopolitan lifestyle. So yassas, take care, Filakia from Jim, and we'll chat again. I'll come to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, where we can be the wind beneath our wings, so we can live, learn and pass it on, and most importantly, put things into perspective, learn new things, and understand about the things that go on in the world around us, and not to be intimidated nor disappointed by what we see, but just to see it as just another aspect of our life. Take care, yassas, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.